Many thanks for staying with us. Now to security matters. A bill seeking to amend Nigeria's constitution to legitimize the establishment of state police in the country has passed a second reading in the House of Representatives. The bill, sponsored by the Deputy Speaker of the House and 14 other members of Parliament, is expected to empower state governments to establish their own dedicated police agencies in order to tackle the escalating insecurity crisis in the country. And now to discuss this, we're joined by Odobe Fidelis, who is a lawyer and security expert. Thank you so much for joining us. Mr. Odobe Fidelis, can you please...
Thank you very much. Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Okay, yeah, we can hear you now. So what are the potential benefits of establishing a state police, and would it improve the efficiency and effectiveness of policing the country?
Number one, I want to look at it from establishment of state police is part of the fulfillment of the federal principle. Because in another federalism, all the federating units are supposed to be a complete government. So giving states the ability to have their own police to a very large extent will showcase and improve the capacity of the police, the state to be able to police the environment. If you look at other states like a place like India, United States of America, Mexico, Canada, Spain, these entities which also have a sort of federal unit of federating federalism in its principle, have a state police. So having a state police will give the state the ability to have the humanity concept of policing. Because you look at this security from humanity perspective, you look at it from the sociological concept of security, because the people that are going to be involved are also part of this environment. A place like India, where the state as well as the municipals have the ability to recruit their own police, and there is a sort of intervention from the state, for example, provision of housing equipment, as well as recruitment for the state too, from the rank of superintendent of police above, like in India, they recruit and send to the state. So if you look at the sociological concept that ensures the integration and social cohesion of the people, like the culture of the people, the religion, as well as the language, is is a veritable instrument in policing. And if state is given the opportunity to highlight this sociological component of their existence that ensures the centrifugal force to integrate them, I believe that the state will have the ability to be able to police themselves and provide enough security. And secondly, you look at this federal in terms of management of police. The constitution in section 214 and 215 is very clear that the state, the police in Nigeria today belong to the federal government, and the management is seated in the office of the police. And he is also a person in charge of the commissioner of police, even though they are being posted in the state. So I believe that if the governors are given the opportunity to actually manage their police, you want to introduce this sociological concept to our policing, ensure the full implementation of the federalism, and the state will be able to, help Nigeria to cushion the effect of insecurity. We have had
Well, we'll talk about the financial implication of this, but then let's quickly look at the concerns of some people. They've talked about the fact that it could be a conduit for corruption. There could be an abuse of power, impunity on the part of the handlers, and the possibility of the rich and influential in the community using the instrumentation of this to ensure their own protection and justice, while others are left unprotected. So how should this state police be structured to avoid all these concerns?
For example, if you look at the federal structure of Nigerian police today, these same acts will be leveled against the federal police. If the states are given the opportunity to recruit their citizens, recruit their indigents, the highest thing the government can do is to introduce a monitoring mechanism. For example, they may also have this bill contains the presence of State Police Service Commission, where the state will also establish an institution, will have the responsibility to train their police, discipline their police, as well as show those individuals that don't want to actually obey the norms or the characters of the police out of the system. For example, they also have like a human rights institution that will have the capacity to monitor the police as well as have a feedback mechanism. Unlike what we have today in the federal police, even though we have the police service commission, it's very difficult for us to get even a simple information or a document from the police. But if in the state level, the state may have the opportunity to introduce other mechanisms like the Human Rights Commission, the Police Service Commission within the state to be able to deal with this issue. So, for example, if you go like a state like Spain, or even in United States of America, United States of America don't have a state police, they don't have a federal police. All they have is the state police, then other law enforcement agencies like the FBI and Drug Enforcement Administration. So I don't think that allegation to a very large extent is higher than the laws that has been given to us as a people as a result of us not having the state police at that level.
So this state policing mechanism
are you with me?
Yes, this state policing mechanism would involve recruiting probably new hands. And you talked about monitoring also, which would have to do with having some set of people monitor the activities of the personnel. Now, looking at the financial implication, it would cost funds by the state governments to push this narrative. Where would they get the funds from? Because some states are said to be cash strapped, and some are even borrowing money to fund the administration. Will it come from security votes or from where?
Apart from the security vote, even as we have it today, you find that states are still taking high percentage of the police force, apart from the salary, provision of equipment, that welfare for the police is catered by the states, even as we have it today. And the state will also be able to recruit based on their capacity and then require the federal intervention. We have other states, I think either Canada or Spain, where the state that don't want to have a police can actually require the federal police for their policing, and the federal state will introduce the federal police to administer such state they don't have capacity to carry on. If you go to a place like Spain, a region or an environment that have more than 5,000 persons, it has been given the opportunity to form their own police. So the issue of the finance is actually very, very important. But if the states can look inward, ensure that we apply the full federal principle in terms of the revenue management of the state, or what they may term as resource control, the state may begin to advance towards, recruit and finance their police, as well as require federal intervention. If you go to a country like India, the federal government helps them in different areas, issue of provision of pension, issue of housing, provision of equipment. So if we have them domiciled in the state, nothing prevents from the federal government from providing intervention, or as well as we'll still have security for today. So federal government can as well intervene where they have difficulties. But we cannot say because of lack of resources or lack of funds, the state will not be given the opportunity to administer themselves. For example, look at the judiciary. We have the state judiciaries as well as the federal judiciary. And they also have their own laws in which the level of the judicial that can actually acquire. Are we going to say now that the state government or the judiciary are not being funded, or they're not living up to expectation, or to perform the function assigned to them because of the paucity of fund? Okay. So I believe that if the state is given that responsibility, at every level, the federal government can easily intervene in terms of administration and management and financing.
Odobe Fidelis, thank you so much for your time.